for every cricketer, the dream is to play for India.
Yeah.
Same thing for me. When I got selected, I just felt like brilliant was playing for India, getting selected. And then comes the first series. And by the way, before that, we played the Asia Cup, one days.
Huh.
And I got my first one-day wicket in my first over also, Sana Jayasuriya. So I was introduced to international cricket. And then the first test match I was playing, India, Sachin won the toss, we batted. It was an absolute concrete wicket, belter of a wicket. मतलब कुछ नहीं हो रहा था wicket पे. I remember Sachin declaring, saying कि यार जल्दी declare कर दे, we'll probably have a great chance to get a couple of wickets, bowl them out and kind of thing. First test match. I'm in that zone. यार कैप्टन बोल रहा है तो अपना भी कुछ जोश होना चाहिए. Here comes Abhi Kuruvilla, Venkatesh Prasad, nothing happening. Then comes Anil Kumble, Rajesh Chauhan, nothing happened. And I was just in that zone कि आज bowling नहीं मिलने वाली. So moving from one position to another comfortably, thinking कि कल से bowling डाल दूंगा because Rajesh Chauhan
they're going to bat for a long time.
हाँ, मतलब लंबा चलने वाला है. And I was in my last over होने वाला है. Umpire said last over. Thank God to Sachin Tendulkar. He was the captain. He said, Nilesh, आजा.
Okay, exciting news for us here on Cyrus Says when we get an international cricketer. Same age as me almost, which is also good. Finally, vintage. Nilesh Kulkarni, welcome to the show. 6 foot 4.5 inches tall, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe the tallest guest we've had so far.
Yeah, thank you, Cyrus. 6'5". I used to be with hairs on.
ये तो prepared joke है बेटा. ये तो prepared joke है. You set me up for that one, huh? Left arm orthodox. So Nilesh, we'll start a little bit with the cricket.
Yes.
And your career, of course, and then we'll move on to what you're doing now. In between, we'll talk about anything you feel like. Any complaints you have against road repair, metro construction work not being complete, बारिश का जो issues है. He's come from Mulund, for those who don't live in Mumbai, which is a suburb, to our Bandra Khar area, which is somewhere like central, and which should take him less than 1 hour. They have completed 2 hours. So it's like a test match for a T20.
Absolutely.
This is what you went through.
And I was dying to go to the washroom because we couldn't just get out of the car.
Oh, shoot, yaar.
So it was, imagine the desperation for me to get to the studio.
My God.
More than for the interview, I just had to use the washroom.
Wow. So you've come all the way here to pee. That's what you're saying. Fair enough. This is a big issue here. As we age, I've also crossed 50, so this is a big issue.
We're on the same side.
We're on the same side. I'm saying you carry that bottle. दूसरी बात है कि एम कैसा है वैसा है वो अलग बात है but you keep that bottle handy because when you're in a desperate situation, my pal Kunal and I, we went Bali just recently and we were stuck. Bali has very bad traffic, by the way.
Yeah.
And we had the same problem, where to pee. We were thinking, is there a thing where we can pee in the car?
Seriously,
literally.
Man.
But I think cultural relations would have broken down. So
the most important thing today for me was to get here, and then first thing is to use the washroom and then sit for the interview.
Everybody understands because when you're in that position,
nature's call is
too
unavoidable.
Too important. But let's start at the very beginning. You're from that entire, I think, very, very powerful. We just won the Ranji Trophy, so Mumbai is still powerful. But people will argue that the smaller states, if you like, the smaller cities and states have come up and giving a big fight to Mumbai. But you are from the vintage, of course, Tendulkar has to be mentioned. Tendulkar, Kamble, Samir Dighe, I'm trying to remember, Salil Ankola, Kuruvilla, Zubin Bharucha. Sanjay Manjrekar was still there, yes. Possibly even Vengsaka was just retiring.
He got retired. Amol
Mazumdar, my God, who should have played for India.
Yeah.
So what a team that is, yeah? You
Unbeatable.
Guys, I think everyone should have played 50 test matches come for India.
Invariably, most of the people ended up playing cricket for India.
Yeah.
I mean, ended up playing for the Indian team. But, what a team. I think... I remember walking into that team was a challenge itself.
Mm-hmm.
Playing and surviving became additional challenge. Competing with international team became very easy. Because when you have Tendulkar, Manjrekar, Kamble, Ankola, Kuruvilla in the dressing room, you're comfortable there.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you beat the international team, you feel like, wow, this is brilliant. Playing for Mumbai is
this is the Australia match.
Australia, New Zealand, we played England match. A lot of matches we played at the side game.
Yeah.
In those days...
Before the warm-up, what they call
warm-up games, yeah.
But they took it seriously. That was like a game before the preparation for the test.
And invariably, Mumbai ended up winning Ranji Trophy. So you would get a match to play against the touring team.
Yeah.
So that is an advantage for us.
Okay, let's go back, Nilesh, to the beginning. How did you become a left-arm orthodox to begin with? Because you're looking at your height, and for those who don't know, he's, as you said, almost 6'5". You'd think fast bowler as a young boy.
See, as a young boy, I was also bowling the fast in school because it was normal, it was obvious, just come. But my coach told me, boss, तेरे पास नहीं है, तेरे पास नहीं है, ताकत नहीं है.
क्या बात है?
So select an option which can support and complement you because I was a very skinny boy in school.
No, but this is normal, these lanky pacers, left arm.
In those days, there was no such fancy things.
Bruce Reed, Australia.
Yeah, but in Australia, not in India. There was nobody who could guide you saying that ki अच्छा है. You select this.
You think you would have been a fast bowler also?
See, when I was bowling, fast bowling in school, I had no idea I would grow up 6'5".
Oh, acha.
So the obvious choice was that my body didn't allow me to sustain and survive bowling 7 over spill. So the second best option was to bowl spin. So I ended up picking up that as an option. But I'm grateful to one such gentleman called Frank Tyson.
You met Frank Tyson, the famous English fast bowler.
The English fast bowler, and he was my coach.
But he was a coach for fast bowling.
He was a coach. He was a teacher. After finishing his cricket.
How did you get this?
So he was part of the BCM Mafatlal bowling scheme, which was introduced in Mumbai for the first ever time to groom bowlers and mainly fast bowlers. But he was such a good bowler. He was such a good teacher that he allowed all the bowlers to come into the camp. And we were all these Chintu Pintus part of that scheme. He made sure he transformed me and gave me the confidence that, look, being tall is an advantage and not a disadvantage. He imbibed those thoughts. Was a phenomenal coach and a brilliant teacher.
But you were bowling fast or spin?
At that point of time, I had already transited into spin. But he nurtured the skill which probably I didn't have or I didn't anticipate I had. So he allowed me to grow into that skill and made me the bowler who I am today.
Wow. So Frank Tyson, is he still alive?
No, unfortunately passed away.
Sad. But his estate will be sent 10% of the Kulkarni wealth. Because we Indians, whoever's our guru for life remains, something.
I always acknowledge his contribution to my cricket and my learning.
And for those who don't know, one of the great fast bowlers, we may not have the greatest statistics, but people talk about him in glowing terms of space and fire.
He was called Typhoon Tyson.
Typhoon Tyson, right.
And he was part of that Bodyline series where he ripped Australian apart. And he was instrumental in giving all the bruises to Australian batters in those days. So,
wow.
I mean, he was scary.
Wow. But so it's very interesting. So you went from fast bowling, you go into left arm spin, and you got success immediately in school cricket?
Partially, yes. But like I said, the transition was good because I was inducted into that bowling scheme, which actually allowed me to get better at my bowling. And, in school, you were always asked to traditionally flight the ball.
Why not, Nilesh? Please encourage this. I'm sick of seeing that this Jadeja, with due respect, has destroyed the game for me. Yeah?
No, but for my height, the variation was a flight.
That's true. Yeah.
For my height. But in those days, a lot of left-arm spinners, I won't quote them, I won't name them, but I'll say that they were saying that, "Arey, ye flat dalta hai." He doesn't have a variation. But it was Frank Tyson, Frank sir, who said, Ki Nilesh, that is your stop ball. Flight is your variation. So beat the batters in your variation and not on the stop. So I got most of my wickets in the short leg, silly point and slip. Whereas traditionally, the left-arm spinners would flight the ball and get them caught into a short extra cover or any other places.
Playing away.
No,
honestly, so tell us, how do you know how much you can turn the ball? As a young boy and people watching also, I remember how much I used to try and get the ball to turn when I watched Abdul Qadir and then later Shane Warne, trying to put leg breaks. I was on left arm orthodox, but you don't know how much you can spin it. Is there a natural ability involved in this?
Well, the person who can predict that I'm going to spin 6.5 inch is absolute lie.
Liar.
Complete lie. Yeah. You aspire to bowl that. You make an attempt and effort to do that. But there are so many sciences which are part of that process, which you cannot predict. And that's the beauty of this cricket. That's the beauty.
But as a finger spinner, now we'll be technical for a second, how much the revs that you give it as against the wicket's roll, the pitch's roll, which is the more important one then?
Both. Because if you give a good rep and the wicket is flat, the ball is going to skid through. It's not going to give you the kind of deviation.
You need a turning track, a slightly turning track.
For an advantage, yes. Yeah. But even on a turning track, I've seen a lot of spinners being straight and getting more wickets. So that's
because they're expecting the turn and it's not happening. Is that it?
Exactly. And there are a lot of technicalities. Underspin the ball. The wrist position needs to be good. If you underspin the ball, it's going to skid. If it doesn't hit the seam, if it hits the gloss, it's going to skid through. And the batter is trying to play the spin.
In the subcontinent is also throwing. Chucking bhi hai na?
That's no. Thoda wo.
Abhi to wo band ho gaya. Everybody had one chucker.
No, now in Mumbai that also got
Mumbai
stopped.
Is too clean. Mumbai is too clean. The only clean part about Mumbai is our cricket.
I'll tell you. Partially, when I played a role in Mumbai Association as a CIC, we put some processes in place saying ki umpires ko bhi freedom dena hai.
Hey, what is this 14 degrees, yaar, Nilesh? I don't understand this.
Nobody defines it.
You're telling me you can't say ki 6 inches or 8 inches ka spin milega.
No. The beauty is, if you are at 12 degree, you're still allowed to do it.
But how do you
measure it? Yeah. That's the beauty. So they put the cap on 15 degree, but 12, 13 degrees, how do you measure it? And that's allowed.
So umpire has to make a call in his mind's eye.
That's all
This is
rubbish. That's all rubbish.
so. If the elbow bends, now for a spinner, it's also more odd. But you have more time to see.
No, so I mean, if I can show it,
yeah.
This is not allowed. This is allowed. Nonsense.
So it's not fully straight.
This is not allowed. This is allowed. Technically speaking,
Huh.
how is that possible? How are you going to measure it with the naked eye? It's just not possible. It's unreal. But these are the rules which you have to follow.
I think all this should be stopped at school level before the guy becomes a famous cricketer. He should not be having like a Sunil Narayan having his action checked last minute 3 times, 4 times.
Exactly.
As an international
But
cricketer.
Sunil Narayan is allowed to bowl.
They kept remodeling his action, no?
Muralidharan was allowed to bowl, but he had a freak injury also.
Huh.
What I'm trying to
He couldn't straighten the arm.
He couldn't straighten the arm. So even today, his arm angle is like this.
Yeah.
It's not like this.
Yeah.
Like for all of us, it's like this.
Correct.
For his,
it can't do that.
Yeah, there's a technical problem to his arm.
So not just bowling, other things will be a problem.
But that's, I think, see, I mean, as much as you evolve, so many rules have come into play because of the advantages people started taking. So some guidelines are important. I'm a firm believer that you need to have some guidelines.
I think Mumbai School of Cricket is very pure, so it's a little different. But as you go different areas, the rules are bent more.
Jugaad chalu ho jata hai.
Jugaad chalu hota hai. Yahan pe I think the coaches, and this has been going on for generations, are very puritanical coaches, like you have mentioned also.
Traditional coaches will never allow this.
Never.
Never ever encourage any of this.
Yeah.
They'll put a patti yahan pe.
They just no-ball you.
Just to
What about Shoaib? Shoaib's faster.
Well, he was allowed to bowl.
But was the elbow bent? I mean, I can't tell.
They didn't question it, and they didn't find it questionable also. So that means he was allowed to bowl. So that was probably 12-13 degrees.
Sir, ये बहुत diplomatic answer है.
It's not diplomatic. See, if ICC didn't question, they didn't have an objection. Neither the problems came surface on the
umpire has to first object, right?
Exactly. Umpire, and then it gets scrutinized, then it gets biomechanically verified before it is called for a suspect. So he was never called. So that means he was allowed to bowl.
So different strokes, different folks kind of thing.
I mean, that's why I said, no, the difference is that 12 degree and a 15 degree. If it is allowed, part of the rule.
But does it make a big difference for a spinner to bend the elbow? I don't see how it will make a difference.
Not required.
Really?
Not required.
I mean, do you get an advantage?
I come from this old school of thoughts that, traditionally, grow karna hai, no cheating, no thought. So I was comfortable with that.
Also, I think because you grew up with a red ball, up to even one generation after you, still red ball.
Yeah.
Red ball generations, you set up batsmen longer period of play, etc. So the whole thinking is a little different.
If you ask me, even today, even the white ball era, red ball should always be encouraged. Because I have a theory, and it's proven across also. If you survive well at red ball cricket, coming down to white ball is a lot easier. But if you focus and specialize in white ball, going up to red ball is challenging. So it's always good that you hone your skills at the red ball, do yourself much better, work around all your strategies, then come down to white ball is a lot easier.
Nilesh is giving guidance to young people watching the program, but also old people like myself who still want to reinvent.
Yeah.
There'll be a Legends IPL and Legend this and Legend that.
Everybody's playing nowadays.
We won the World Cup. The second World Cup we won, Legends World Cup.
Exactly. There's a Masters League happening everywhere.
Why don't you play all this now?
My institutes focus on.
Are you still keeping fit with the bowling?
The problem is different. I'll still bowl 4 overs. It's the recovery for a month after that is a challenge for me to come to office.
Also fielding.
Fielding is still okay. You can 45 pe chupa lo khud ko chal jata hai. But the recovery after that for 3 weeks to a month,
my God,
is a bit of a task for all by itself. To prepare for it is a challenge.
Fair. Okay, let's get back to your career. We got sidetracked with the technical aspects of the game because I get excited. So tell us how you become a Mumbai cricketer and then, of course, an international cricketer. You get selected in the schools first. Child Shield, Harris Shield, all that.
I come from a place called Dombivali. So we had a Thane district team competing into 4 Mumbai teams which were selected. So you play school cricket, then get selected into Thane district team. Then you play against the 3 Mumbai teams which are shortlisted into junior cricket. You compete, perform well. You are considered.
You consider the Thane team outside Mumbai?
In those days, yes.
Yeah, okay.
In those days, it was. Sauteli treatment thi.
My God.
In those days.
What is this? More divisions in our society? I'm against this. Hum sab ek hai bhai. We are paying the same toll tax.
In those days, it was Sauteli treatment for Thane because there was only one team.
Right.
So you get into Mumbai Junior 15, Under 15 team. You get selected. You play well, perform well. And then I got selected. Our captain was Sachin Tendulkar.
You all are almost the same age. You, Sachin, Vinod, all in the same.
Yeah. We all grew up in the same
So how was it bowling to those boys when they were young?
I was
Under
lucky
15s.
to only got the chance to bowl against them few times.
In the nets only you were bowling?
In the nets and in few of the matches, I was lucky to bowl in the team when they were playing. So I got less thrashing by them when I was playing for them and not against them. But I remember one game which I played against SV Joshi High School for Dombivali versus the Sharda Ashram English medium.
Oh my God.
For a Bhandari final.
Both were there?
Both were there.
Oh my God.
Boss, they just pestered us, and how. My neck was stiff because only after bowling thakak, 1-6, thakak, the other 6, Kamli and Sachin were in rotation, just smashing us all over. And they finished the game. In those days, it was a T20 kind of a finish to us.
But in the right hand also, you weren't able to get little purchase against Sachin?
No chance.
Nee?
No chance.
He would play you, he would read you, or he would play you
Yeah. I mean, he would still read me. You put him in a sleep, just wake him up and he would say that to you.
I'm bringing this up because today a lot of people claim that they're not reading the spinner anymore. Indian batsmen. This generation of Indian batsmen.
Boss, all said and done, Sachin ke liye na, there was one dhacha which was made by God and he never invented that again.
Fair enough.
He just scrapped that mold.
No weak point. No, I really
scrapped that mold ever.
So Sachin doesn't have a weak point. I can't think of a weak point.
Uske weak point is also a strong point.
Which is what? There's no weak point.
That's another challenge.
Vinod?
Oh, Vinod was
a bigger hitter, but when they were young.
He was genius. He was genius in terms of the way he was stepping out to spinners on a turning track against the spin. Brilliant. So they both were outstanding players. Outstanding players. Junior cricket, all the way to India players.
Wow. But did you all know that all of you all will play for India?
See, you aspire to. You put a goal when you're growing up, you want to play for India. That's your dream, obviously. And for all of us, 83 was a great goal for us.
Not the Kabir Khan film, the actual 83.
The actual 83 World Cup was.
So kids watching will be like, 83 ka hai wo. Ranveer Singh. He's a great all-rounder.
Yeah, but I think for all of us, the inspiration started with that 83 World Cup.
Really, my God. People, you won't understand what we went through as kids.
Seriously.
You couldn't believe it, no?
And we were glued to that.
We beat West Indies twice in one tournament.
Purana TV dekh
Purana TV, and it got cut in the middle and all that.
Seriously.
When Richards got out, we lost the thing, the feed.
And we still have those memories.
Yeah, I remember every ball, boss. How can you forget that? Every ball.
And we lost the match halfway through. We lost the trust also, and suddenly that brilliant catch by Kapil Paji on Madhipa's bowling turned the table around.
Unbelievable.
All those memories are still fresh, and that was the inspiration to think of playing for India. They made us believe that you should aspire to play for India. And for as a child, coming from a Dombivali, it's important.
From Dombivali to Lords. Literally.
So then that's how the journey started. School cricket, junior cricket, then under 17, under 19, then playing Ranji Trophy for Mumbai. Breaking into Ranji Trophy was always
a champion side.
It's
almost like the Indian team.
Absolutely. Yeah. And once you're in the team.
How do they treat you when the oldies? The Manjrekars and all,
Luckily, it was good because we were playing against them at the company levels, the club
already
levels.
Knew people.
You knew people, and then you feel comfortable.
No bullying and all that when the young guys come in. Hey Nilesh, Beja, none of that.
I think those days, senior junior was respectful. There was quite a good respect. And if they believed in you, they would back you.
But when you're bowling, can you ask Manjrekar to field a short leg?
You can't. You can't. But the good part is if he trusts you, he'll stand voluntarily.
Really?
Yeah.
He would feel close in, no?
He would.
From time to time, yeah.
I mean, when I bowled, he didn't. He stood in the slips.
Yeah.
But he would stand, if he believed as a bowler that, it's safe to stand there, he would stand there. He would stand. He would start at short extra cover also, many a times.
So, you've got all these champions with you in the Mumbai teams, and you've probably won a few titles.
Only 7.
7 titles while you were playing.
Yes.
So Mumbai was still top of the line.
Yeah.
Now it's dwindled a little bit, but now that we won last year, or this year if you want
to call it. Out of 9, I was part of the 7 Ranji Trophy finals. So.
Wow.
Twice
Excellent.
I didn't play the finals.
But you were in the squad?
I was in the squad.
Yeah. That's another story altogether. How spinners get bullied and only one will play sometime, only 2 will play sometime.
Part of the journey.
It's like racism. We have to end that. Apna flat wickets pe,
I'll tell you.
How come we never played 4 spinners in Mumbai here?
Well, Ramesh Pawar did.
We played a 4 spinner, 4-pronged attack?
3 at least for sure. 3 Ramesh and Sai we played.
Yeah.
Most of the matches when we were playing together, 3 of us played most of the matches for Mumbai.
And that's a good mix now. Right arm off, left arm and leg
spinner.
Leg as well. It's a perfect balance.
We had a great run.
Plus Sachin.
Sachin
could turn the ball.
Sachin could do everything.
How good was he as a
The
spinner?
good part was that thank God he didn't bowl left arm spin.
That's good. You didn't suggest it.
At least I
You didn't
had
suggest it.
some savior. He could do off spin, leg spin both. So
Then he had
Ramesh
to
and
call
Sai,
Nilesh. Because the one thing he can't do is bowl left.
so Ramesh and Sai probably had a competition. I was lucky.
Yeah. Oof, really. Wow. So all those. I will just fast forward because we will get into your whole story post cricket as well to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
That I saw that test match live. Now that is good news and bad news. The good news is the record that you had. If I remember correctly, the first Indian to get a wicket with the first ball in
Yes.
Test cricket, and 11th or 12th international in the
Yes.
history of the game. But the Sri Lankans went on to make the world record,
That's right.
900 plus runs.
That's
So
right.
take us through that whole.
So the beauty
match.
was, for every cricketer, the dream is to play for India.
Yeah.
Same thing for me. When I got selected, I think I just felt brilliant was playing for India, getting selected. And then comes the first series. And by the way, before that, we played the Asia Cup,
Right.
one days.
Huh.
And I got my first one-day wicket in my first over also, Sara Jayasuriya. So I was introduced to international cricket. And then the first test match I was playing, India, Sachin won the toss, we batted. It was an absolute concrete wicket, belter of a wicket. मतलब कुछ नहीं हो रहा था wicket पे. I remember Sachin declaring, saying कि यार जल्दी जल्दी declare करते, we'll probably have a great chance to get
Bowl
couple
them
of
out.
wickets, bowl them out and kind of thing. It was first test match. I'm in that zone. यार कैप्टन बोल रहा है तो अपना भी कुछ जोश होना चाहिए. Here comes Abhi Kuruvilla, Venkatesh Prasad, nothing happening. Then comes Anil Kumble, Rajesh Chauhan, nothing happened. And I was just in that zone कि आज bowling नहीं मिलने वाली. So moving from one position to another comfortably, thinking कि कल से bowling डाल दूंगा because Rajesh Chauhan
They're going to bat for a long time.
हाँ मतलब लंबा चलने वाला है.
हाँ.
And I was in my last over होने वाला है. Umpire said last over. Thank God to Sachin Tendulkar. He was the captain. He said, Nilesh, आजा. Generally क्या होता है? There's a pattern that captain tells you 1 hour in advance कि warm up करके ready हो जा. ये end से डालना है.
No warning.
No warning. Because Mavan Attapattu took a single of that last ball
to take strike.
And Rajesh Chauhan was to bowl.
Right-handed batsman. Huh.
Rajesh Chauhan was to bowl that over. Sachin suddenly
left
realized कि
armour.
एक chance ले लेते हैं. Thank God to Sachin for that thinking. And when I gave my cap to umpire, it was an Australian umpire. He said, Nilesh, you have 30 seconds to bowl first ball. Otherwise, I'm calling
Clock
it a
is
day.
ticking.
I'm calling it a day.
Correct.
And I like, boss, this is not happening. Everything I had to just rush in that 20 seconds to bowl that first ball. So no thought, absolute no thought. The only thought I had in my mind,
get the ball.
Boss, don't embarrass yourself. Wide नहीं होना चाहिए, full toss नहीं होना चाहिए, short नहीं होना चाहिए, embarrassment नहीं होना चाहिए. So there was no such thing. And hand on heart, no this thing कि मैं ball पे wicket लूंगा. नहीं boss, ball अच्छा डालूंगा, अच्छा होने दो. But lucky for me, Mavan Attapattu, he had a bad series. So he was in that zone to just go out and dominate.
He thought the youngster has come, I'll get a loose.
चला के लेंगे.
Yeah.
As luck would
Did
have
you flight it? I don't remember the ball, but I shot line.
I just had to make sure that I land the ball well. That was my
because
thought.
There's nervousness also, no?
Pressure. And those who say there's no pressure are all lying.
Yeah.
Blatant lie. I was thinking ball land kar le, Nilesh, don't embarrass. Udhar, focus. As luck would have it, it got released properly. Mavan went for an expansive drive. Kachak! Nayan Mungia took a brilliant catch. He could have stumped him also because he came out of the crease also. And
what was the feeling?
Brilliant.
Firstly, they couldn't get a wicket all day.
But the best part was, I just felt that I got a wicket. We got a breakthrough as an India.
Correct.
Little did I realize that there was a world record. I was just bowling in the nets after that. So all the press people came to me and said, it's a world record. I said, what? That's when I actually realized it's part of the world record. But little did I realize, उसके बाद अगले 3 भी वो दूसरा world record हुआ है. 952 runs I fielded without a wicket.
I watched that whole test match. I can remember.
And out of that, next 2 days, पूरा wicket नहीं गया.
But to be fair, it was a horrible wicket for a bowler here. There's nothing.
And I keep teasing Roshan every time I meet him. Roshan was plumb like before.
How much did he make? 200 plus?
225. But Roshan was plumb like before. Umpire didn't, KT Francis, poor guy. He didn't give it out.
To you?
And he apologized to me. Sorry, I can't.
KT apologized?
KT apologized to me after that second day.
I can't give it out.
I can't give pressure. Too much pressure. सोच लो.
I mean, it's not that far back. 1996, 97?
97.
97. I mean, this is modern cricket. This is not like 1972 or something.
But then there's honest confession also, but I said, you've lost me a wicket.
Mr. KT Francis, come on the podcast. India wants to know, in the words of Arnab Goswami, the nation needs to know what went wrong there.
So, part of your journey.
Yeah.
Part of the experience.
What a fantastic
It was like
match.
a Sensex, right at the top, and then only bottom.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
It's life. Win some, lose some.
Yeah.
But you got a wicket with the first ball and then they go 952. So that test match stands in memory.
It is.
It's a world statistical test match.
It is.
It's all these things that happened.
So I have a gift from Roshan and Sanad.
How much Sanad made? 300 odd, no?
340.
340.
So
340, 220.
Full scorecard ka mere paas gift hai. It's in my home.
हाँ.
I'm going to treasure it. Saying that wicket, Nilesh Kulkarni 72 overs, 192 runs, 1 wicket. And 952 runs.
Wow. Which probably is amongst the better strike rates.
Possibly, yes.
If you look at I don't want to talk about what Rajesh Chauhan and all
जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देगा?
ठीक है, सब relative बात है भाई, ये science है. It's a theory of relativity.
सबको पढ़ी है. थोड़ी सी कम, थोड़ी सी ज्यादा, सबको पढ़ी है.
Sometimes when you're watching cricket and you see one of these real turning tracks and somebody's taking 7 for 15 and you're thinking, boss, what if my debut was on that?
See, that on hindsight, you can always argue on that. But I personally feel that, you're given a job. If I had done slightly better, if I could have done probably better, I would have got 2-3 wickets. I would have had a different career. So instead of thinking on a turning track, I probably take a responsibility of taking a blame, saying that I could have done slightly better. See, there's no point comparing.
But this is a very, I know you're being very modest, but 952, the track was, Sanat was at his best. It is a very, it's a difficult equation.
Yeah, you put him
who would have got them out on those flat wickets?
Even if India had batted second, we would have also got some 600-700 easily.
It would have been
easily.
Yeah.
So, but the beauty was the Sri Lankan team, their approach was not to lose a test match. Forget winning. Harna nahi.
So they killed the game.
Yeah.
They batted too long.
That was just the approach they had in that series. Harna nahi hai.
But all said and done, now in hindsight, 100% you could have gone on from there. But that moment when you got the wicket with the first ball, that's unbelievable story.
So I actually tell you it took me some time to sink in also. And by the way, I didn't get the video of it. It took me 20 years to get the access of that video. Neither BCCI, nor TWI, nor Sri Lankan board.
We saw it. I saw the match.
No, but there was no video available.
Star Sports, I think.
No, it wasn't Star Sports in those days.
Kaun tha fir? Neo Sports.
Not even Neo Sports. It was Nimbus tha, the DD tha. DD Sports.
DD, sir, you'll have to help yourself.
But even DD didn't have that access because us waqt transmission
how did you get
So there was one gentleman called Mainak Sinha who is differently abled, who's an archive collector. He shared that with me. And I thanked him.
He had kept
that video and he shared that video.
So you have it now.
I have it now.
I wish can we play it?
Yeah, of course you can. Please. Yeah. It's all yours.
Nilesh Kulkarni, first ball. The most romantic story in cricket is you play for your country, first ball wicket.
And the beauty is, post that, it's been 24 years, 25 years?
Yeah. 20.
Nobody has got a wicket in the first ball in Test cricket from
Nobody
India.
After you.
Nobody after me.
Let's keep that record, India.
Let's hope so.
Let's not share that. Okay, we have to go into a quick break. And when we come back, the second part of Nilesh's career, he played a few tests, he played a few one-day games. He's very much part of probably the team that set up the team that India is today, where we started beating everybody for the first time. I don't think that happened before. We had the Wadekar journey.
Yes.
Then we had the odd win here and there. And then by the 90s, we started having a dominant team, the Tendulkar era.
Yes.
And now where we are with Rohit Sharma and gang, which is right at the top in all three forms.
And 2001.
2001, yeah. Stay where you are. Nilesh will come back to tell us all the inside gossip about who's the dirtiest guy in the team, who's the smelliest, who doesn't pay income tax, who asks for favors all the time, who's having affairs. Wo sab bhi milega na second part mein. Stay there.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. On A Century of Stories, Kunal tells the story of the brilliant athlete Chuni Goswami. Find out how Chuni dominated the fields of both football and cricket in his lifetime. On Talking with My Mouth Full, join chef Rahul Akerkar as he converses with food critic Rashmi Uday Singh about the evolution of India's restaurant business and the implication of social media for today's chefs. Folks, if you like our shows, spread the word, tell your friends, and don't forget to rate and review them wherever you're listening to them. Follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You'll also find all our shows on YouTube by their show names. So do look out for them and have fun watching. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, IDFC First Bank and Grab. Thank you for making this possible.
Back here with Nilesh Kulkarni, he's teaching me how to use my wrist because I live alone. Wink, wink. Actually, they don't use the wrist. You're more the finger spinner. No? So,
I was the finger spinner. So you
Did
should
you
ask
ever-
this. You should ask this question to a wrist spinner.
to Cyrus. In any case, I'm on the phone. Marketers always call me Cyrus only. So now, guy, Cyrus. Cyrus. So now I don't argue.
Fair
Cyrus.
Fair
Bas,
enough.
ho gaya.
Fair enough.
Why get into a fight over something? His life
You're
doesn't
not going to win that.
Exactly. It's like the 952 is just going to go on and on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No point to it.
Absolutely.
So you have your career. You very much a stalwart of Mumbai. You played for India. And as your career comes to an end and you're looking at part 2, you started this academy.
Institute.
Institute is the right word. I keep saying academy. Because cricketer academy.
Yes.
So please understand.
It's
अगर
rational.
cricketer के पास academy नहीं है तो people
तो
ask
problem है.
Yeah.
Problem है. Nobody relates to
Delhi
institute.
side तो everyone has an academy and the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
never comes.
In fact, if you don't have it, they raise their eyebrows.
Yeah.
अरे academy नहीं है तुम्हारी.
ED का raid होगा.
हाँ, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
पैसा कहाँ है?
कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
So the institute. Tell
Yeah.
us about that now.
So basically, it was pure accidental.
Mhm.
I didn't get the IPL contract in 2008 when I was finishing my cricket.
Right.
I was almost on the verge of giving up because I didn't get an
Why didn't Mumbai Indians take you? They weren't very spin friendly, is it? The IPL.
I don't know the reasons. So they didn't take me. Nobody took me. All the 8
Shishir.
franchise.
You were in charge. Was Shishir in charge of Mumbai Indians first year?
First year he was? I
First
don't know.
2008, the first season. Yes, 100% guarantee. I'll have a word.
Yeah.
I've stopped
Now
drinking.
It's all gone now.
Yeah, there's only problem. Yeah.
So then I was thinking of doing something, and
Hmm.
obvious choice was to get into commentary, coaching,
Hmm.
obvious choices. But me and my wife went to watch a match at DY Patil.
Hmm.
And I saw all the Goras managing the event. And she comes from an event background. So I happened to
Right.
ask her, Rasika, her name is Rasika. I said, Rasika, can't we have professionals managing event like this? And the answer was no.
Meaning?
Because there was no formal training, there was no formal
Oh,
education, there was
acha.
no trained professionals in India to manage the scale of IPL.
But today it's not.
Today, the things have changed, and
Hmm.
that's where largely IPL deserves the credit of creating annual sports property in India. For a business to grow in any country,
Hmm.
you need sporting annual properties.
Correct.
And in form of IPL, India got that. But at that point of time, they were all Goras managing it.
Sir, ये गोरा is a racist term, है?
Well,
we're-
overseas, foreigners, whatever term you
Much
want
better,
to use.
sir.
Whatever
You
term
mean
want
white
to
people?
White. Okay, fair enough. I didn't want to say more experienced people.
Okay,
I
sorry.
avoided saying most experienced
uh,
people.
uh.
But yeah, so then we
So
actually
they were running the game. I don't remember.
they were
this.
managing the
They're
entire
managing
back
the whole-
end,
yeah.
the event, the
Yeah.
logistics, the planning,
Mhm.
marketing, everything, broadcasting.
Hmm.
And that was the trigger. I said, look, this is an opportunity to create something.
Hmm.
And that's when we actually decided to introduce. So I traveled to UK, Europe, Singapore,
Hmm.
UAE
Hmm.
to understand how the business of sport is growing in those places.
Hmm.
Funny enough, we didn't have any of the references in India.
Meaning?
Nothing. There was zero reference for us to work on.
Okay.
So we collected all the information. We actually prepared all of it. At that point of time, a lot of my cricketing friends ridiculed me saying, "पागल हो गया तू? जो इंडिया में exist ही नहीं करता है, उसमें क्यों पैसा
So
लगा
what
रहा
are
है?"
you researching? You're researching like football and all that?
No,
Other
we were
leagues?
researching that how the sports education concept exists.
Formal,
sports
to get
education.
into this business. Acha.
And to bring that into
Right,
India,
right.
I had to do a lot of
So
research.
they don't have our thing about Chacha ka beta hai and all
कुछ
that.
नहीं
हाँ,
ना,
वो नहीं है. वो
कुछ नहीं है.
People are different here.
Ah,
Those,
terms are gone.
क्या बोला? Goras. Joking. Love.
But something which had to get into India, and all my friends said, पागल हो गया तू, ना तेरे को IPL कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिला, ना तूने पैसे कमाए, जितने सारे पैसे कमाए यहाँ पे क्यों डाल रहा है? But cut to 7 years from that, what a brilliant idea, Nilesh. What an idea, outstanding. यार, you were ahead of your time. I said, boss, उस वक्त अगर तू गाली नहीं देता था ना, तो आज ये नहीं बनता था. But I think we believed in that concept. We felt that India needs this. There was a need and not the demand. India need that space.
And you could see the growth that was going to happen. So you'll need more Indians
Exactly.
in jobs.
And you see from
propelling.
IPL introduction 2008 onwards, India has introduced at least 10 to 15 national leagues in different sports.
Every year there's 2 new ones. Kam se kam.
Just to add one more information, do you know there are more than 2,000 plus marathons happen in India? That itself is an event.
My wife is running half of them.
2,000 marathons a year in 365 days.
It's ridiculous.
So that's
and yet there's no parking. So many people are running on the road.
And then you just see the...
But you're right. This is a catalyst is the IPL.
Exactly.
Which has just
because you need
everything,
sports annual property for business to grow. And that's how the transformation and transition happened.
Buildings in my colony want to do Malabar Hill Premier League.
Exactly.
It's not a joke, huh?
It is.
Boss, everyone's buildings are doing it, colonies are doing it.
And now our Honorable Prime Minister of India have announced India wishes to host 2036 Olympics. What better statement than we can have asked for?
But will we have cricket in 2036?
Hopefully, yes, because they're thinking of introducing cricket in Los Angeles Olympics.
But 10 overs or 20 overs? So I heard that 10 over ka kuch theory hai. 10 overs I didn't like so much. That'd be too much.
They'll go with 20 overs because 3 hours hai. And they have certain sport which are football and other hockey and all that are like...
But if you have the super sub and
they will modify it and customize it to Olympic sport, but at least introducing cricket to Olympic is a great start for us.
I think so. 3 hours is acceptable.
Yeah.
A hockey match will go on for about, with the breaks, about 80-90 minutes.
Yeah, football also.
It can be a little more than that.
Football also is the similar.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think it's a fair deal.
It's a fair deal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's when I feel we were at the right time at the right place. God was kind.
So you started this institute, which is the formal training for people.
For sports education.
For sports education to execute the event.
To execute the event, logistics, managing, marketing, broadcasting, content writing.
So the whole thing.
Whole gamut
Basically,
of
you
management.
Execute the whole thing.
Basically, you become a master of managing all these aspects, business of sport and science of sport. So we always use this term as the business of sport and science of sport. That comes with all the management, HR, finance, every aspects of learning for their own good, which then, and I always pitch it in this way, that, it's your liked and loved profession. Then your Mondays are not fun, working Mondays. It's a fun Mondays.
Correct. But so you don't have to be a sports lover also. It's also, it's
you
a
have
business.
To be a sport lover, not a sport player, not necessarily a sport player.
So India ka pura country is like that.
Yeah.
Non-playing sports lovers are so many.
Armchair critics to bhar ke hai.
Yeah. I love it. For me, the favorite thing is when I'm with my friends and we're discussing. So Nilesh is bowling, we say, Nilesh should have just, if he had bowled little outside off stump, he would have got more purchase. The way we are, there are no more technical people than Indians who don't play cricket.
But Cyrus, you played.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with the introduction of IPL, घर में वो दादी दादा नाना नानी होते हैं ना, वो किचन से भी बोलते हैं इसको पहले टीम से निकालो, ये गंदा डाल रहा है. So it has gone to that extent now.
Oh, my generation guy was be a tuku batsman.
But now those dadis and nanis in the kitchen calling saying that he's not bowling it right, isko pehle nikalo.
In a way it's good because the market has become so big that everyone thinks they're pundits.
Awareness is increased.
Yeah, awareness is increased and I think cricket has grown so fast.
Opportunity.
Could you imagine cricket would be, for us it was still, like a quality game with few people.
I think if you, right now, what I feel and the beauty is, cricket has, segregated into 3 different
forms.
The traditional red ball cricket followers are still there and they're following with the
hardcore England West Indies dekha Jimmy Anderson ka last match.
And hardcore.
I passed the test.
Exactly. Hardcore red ball followers. Then there is that 50 over category who follows red ball cricket and don't like T20 cricket so much. They are in that category of people. And there is hardcore T20 category which only loves this tapak boundaries, sixes.
You're right. That's the exclusive T20 and IPL almost exclusive. So, people who are following the teams, their regional team, jo bhi hai, and it ends there.
But now you compare that with international sport. How many international sport have 3 international format?
None. 0.
Cricket is privileged to have that.
But they're trying to copy football, rugby. All are thinking of 7s, 5s.
Chess have it.
Chess has already started. Yeah.
Chess have it. But I'm saying that cricket introduced
cricket is now teaching the other sports.
Teaching other sport
mein chota game hai.
Chota game hai. So for all we know, futsal introduced hua hai.
Yeah,
Football
exactly.
ka mini version.
Yeah.
So you'll have many variations.
And
like
in fact,
this.
at the wedding which I was not invited to, I saw the FIFA chief dancing. So
there you go.
We were able to reach all the movers and shakers now to get things done.
Exactly. That's
So,
advantage.
but coming back to the institute, so how do you get into the institute? What's the...
So we have a entrance exam followed with the SASOP submission and an interview as a 3 filters, which is approved by Mumbai University, and it's a Mumbai University degree which we offer
Oh, excellent.
for bachelors and masters,
Superb.
and it's a full-fledged degree. We've replaced that with a dedicated nomenclature for sports education in India. So I took a very unique effort to get the Gazette notification approved for a new nomenclature for sports education. Now all 1100 universities in India officially can use this nomenclature, like BA, BCom, BSc, BBA, MBA. We have introduced BSM, MSM, Bachelors in Sports Management, Masters in Sports
I
Management,
wish it was there in my time.
and Bachelors in Sports Science and Masters in Sports Science for science degree also, replacing BSc, MSc.
Wow. तो what is the फर्क क्या है फिर साइंस और...
फर्क क्या होता है? BBA MBA में आप BBA MBA करते हो तो then there's a marketing specialization,
Okay.
operations specialization, finance. In sports now what we've done is MSM करने के बाद you specialize in sports marketing, you specialize in sports operations,
Got it.
specialize in
And the
sports event
science part?
management. Science part you specialize in sports biomechanics, health and wellness, exercise science, nutrition, psychology, all in sports
Wow.
as part of your science specialization.
Bro, there's a lot of work you've done, yeah? It's a very
Huge.
broad sort of...
Huge, and I've got content ready with this. We've started one more initiative. We are publishing academic books with the industry practitioners to mature our industry. How long can we survive with, sorry, not the Goras, but overseas people?
मेरे को
to
sorry
deliver-
मत बोल यार.
No, I mean, you raised that question, so I'm relating that. Sorry. in
I'm
terms
not
of-
part of United Nations.
But then we started Indianizing the content for our people to understand,
Yeah.
relate,
Yeah.
and use that to better output. We've started asking industry practitioners to come up with the academic book, Indianized version.
Localizing is very important, I feel. Everywhere.
You relate that.
Not just relate that, there's a slight change in dynamics also. No? The things like even in bodybuilding, for example, you all grew up with the Arnold Encyclopedia, etc.,
Exactly.
which works for a Caucasian or African American body type. So
True.
our types are different.
Yeah.
So you've got to understand what the issues are.
And adding to all these things, what we started doing additionally is we've replaced the general management theories with sports theories.
Right.
For example, now in a traditional manner, the 4 Ps are taught with the Nokia theory in a management lesson.
I'll pretend like I know. मैं तो BA किया. हाँ जी, Nokia theory. Tell me more.
We have replaced that with IPL and EPL theory.
Oh, nice.
For a student to understand that better and enjoy the classroom's experience far better. So we've got more than 7,000 reference materials ready to be shared with all our faculties.
So then a lot of guys who were thrown out of class are ready for a great academic career because they know the IPL and the EPL. I can think of so
They
many
relate to
people.
that.
Relate to
Even
that?
the kabaddi, akhada, and
They've
everything.
studied all their lives.
Yeah.
Prepare करके आया.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely. It works
fantastic.
well. It works well. So our students love that kind of references purely because it's relatable, and their passion is sport. They want to make a career in sport. So obviously, there's a soft corner for them. कि अरे मुझे reference मिल गया नीरज चोपड़ा वाला, मुझे reference मिल गया अभिनव बिंद्रा वाला.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, very interesting. And so when we pass out, depending on which faculty you passed out of, what's your next step then? You have to...
So it's a standard management campus interviews. We have got more than 6.
So job opportunities are there as well.
Huge. So we have a good placement
It's an
track
expanding
record.
market also. No? It's
Huge.
one of the few markets that's growing.
It
for
is.
sure.
And the entry points are slightly challenging because it's a low cost entry for them to get the jobs. But the pattern with which they grow is much faster as compared to the general management. So what we've experienced in last 14 years of our existence, the kind of growth which has happened to them is fast tracked. Unlike the traditional
Look at the
slow
market
growth.
that's growing. You got tennis, badminton, golf, chess you mentioned, kabaddi, cricket, wrestling leagues. I've done one of those leagues as well. So that's what I can think of offhand. There's
Squash,
more.
table tennis,
Squash, table tennis, carom bhi hoga.
carom hai,
Then
marathons
that
hai,
street cricket abhi
street,
kiya,
IISM,
which is alag.
yeah, marathons hai.
Marathons, as you said,
And
millions.
there are pink marathons.
Hey, Nilesh, let's start one marathon. We can make money here on the side.
Seriously, and marathon is the only sport where people pay and
You have
run.
to pay to enter.
Pay and run.
And the best part is you pay and you support something. You don't know who you're supporting also. Save the girl child, save the dog, save the soil, save the earth.
Yeah.
पता नहीं.
You've made your money before the tournaments, before the marathon
I saved
starts.
the world. मैं दुनिया को बचाया मैंने खुद.
So that's an advantage. I mean, sport. See, I always say that to students and everybody else. कि we all love sport. मतलब अभी खो-खो, कबड्डी लीग भी आ गई है. खो-खो आ
And
गया.
money is there, huh?
Money is there. They're all surviving and sustaining.
No, they're doing well. The big guys are doing
By
very
the
well.
way, just for your information, Kabaddi League is the second highest viewed league in Southeast Asia
Really?
after IPL.
What are you saying? Not bad.
Stats are proving that.
I don't like
Insane.
watching men hug men, but both are my issues. You know what I mean? I'm just joking. Yeah.
But I mean, that's how the business have grown.
It's reached people who've never even heard of kabaddi.
Yeah.
You know, that's how the speed at which the sports grow is
Exactly.
amazing from our time.
A guy who's a farmer in the remotest places of India is earning 2 crore, 5 crore.
Overnight.
What a story.
Literally in one season.
What a story.
Yeah.
What a story.
Yeah. And he doesn't pay GST. So I ask you, Sarkar, मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? Fair to say.
Well,
Nilesh is pulling out of that third umpire. He's calling for third umpire.
I'm diplomatically right on this.
You're now administration. Na? You're on that side of the fence. Yeah.
You have to be a slightly
line cross mat kar, yeah.
No ball call ho jayega.
No ball will be called. Before we go to I want to ask you one quick question before we run out of time, which is I'll give you names of cricketers and tell me what you think of them in just one or two words.
Sure.
Quickly, okay? Ajit Agarkar.
Sharp and skinny. Sharp, effective.
But strong, huh? Oh, hit the ball
on and off the
way.
field. On and off the field, sharp.
Yeah, okay. Tendulkar.
God has made a simple one mold. He stopped making
Custom made,
it. Custom made only for one guy. That is Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar.
Very fair. Salil Onkola.
Brilliant, fast, quick, sharp bowler.
Fastest?
Unfortunately, he could have played for more.
Should have played more. But at the early part of his career, fastest that you
peak,
faced?
He was
Raju Kulkarni faster?
He was on par with Raju.
Between the two?
Both of them.
And both should have played much more for India.
Both should have played for a long time for India. They had the potential to play for India.
Sad, serious pace. Vinod Kamli.
Brilliant player. Unfortunately, he could not do justice to his talent. But talent-wise, he was right up there. He was
two double centuries in the early part of his career.
I was
unbelievable.
I was part of that experience of knowing
Zimbabwe,
Vinod Kamli. Yeah, he was a brilliant player, outstanding cricketer.
Samir
Dege probably got his due a little late.
Hit the ball.
He could have got
T20 champion. He would have been.
Yeah, but he could have got the dues earlier because when he was doing really well, he could have got the dues slightly earlier. All ifs and buts, but brilliant.
One more, my favorite, Zubin Bharucha.
Bawa was champion player. And we call him Bawa, Zubs.
Bawa with respect. Tell him to come on the show now. He's so shy. He refuses to come.
Yeah, you just put him in the car, take him out for a meal and get him here.
Nilesh, एक ही problem है. He's a guy wears one black t-shirt. Morning, noon and night. Whatever, how much he's made crores of rupees, he still won't wear anything else. Finally, his own team, Rajasthan Royals team, were telling me some event, boss, usko bolo na. We've got all these clothes here. Wear something else. One black t-shirt. It's not two black t-shirts. Ek hi black t-shirt.
But I'll tell you one secret. Bawa has done some podcast. You should push him now.
He's done a podcast?
He's done a podcast.
Babaji, so courage.
Bawa, I'll let the secret out to Cyrus. Now it's time for you to come on this show.
Which podcast did he come on?
He did it with Clayton Murzello.
He did Clayton's podcast? Because it's pure cricket and all that. I'll bajao him for this, boss. You watch this. I'll bajao him. I'm going to bowl the dusra. I'm going to get him. Do you believe in the dusra? Is that a real ball?
It is dusra. It worked.
Goes the other way?
It worked.
Fair?
Fair.
How does the ball turn the other way with the same action?
It stopped after that. It worked while it lasted.
Brother, a complicated game, no?
That's the beauty of this game.
But tell me, you guys, you actual cricketers, you can pick when it's a fraud.
You can't call it fraud. It was allowed. You can't call it fraud. While it lasted, it was allowed.
How does the ball turn the other way?
See, that's why I'm saying now, it was fair at that point of time. Then the rules came in, it got stopped. Nobody's bowling.
Join the institute to get better answers. He's being diplomatic.
I'm being fair.
You're being fair.
See, it lasted while it was.
So you're saying legality depends on the time.
Well, legality depends on the people who define the legality.
At the time. Okay, here are the quick, we have a few minutes. These are questions, AMAs for you, from people who we to put on our stream key or coming on. Mr. Ray says, do you still play gully cricket with your kids or relatives? How do these informal games compare to your memories of playing as a kid? It's a very Mumbai question.
It is.
We all played gully cricket.
We all played gully cricket. We all grew up playing gully cricket. That is the start. I mean, the rules of
you feel
to
pressure?
declare.
You're Nilesh Kulkarni, somebody says, hey, aja.
No, I still do. I still do with my son and my, complex. I still play with my
And
kids.
you said your son is not a bowler.
He's an all-rounder. He bowls leg spin and he bats. I'm happy that he bats.
So he's chosen two completely different role models.
I'm happy that at least he'll have better wickets than me,
Sachin
but more runs than me
Sairaj
for sure.
More
runs than me for sure.
You want a bad bat. You could bat a bit.
I could, but I didn't get a chance. So, I mean, he probably would score more
Not
than
in the
me.
Mumbai lineup. Mumbai lineup, though, I mean, impossible.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
first you can't
we
get
used to
past.
just bloody go and sleep. When Sachin's, Sanjay, Vinod were batting,
Yeah.
you just have a good nap, food, enjoy.
Wow. But
But gully cricket is a start point for every cricketer.
But
And
you still do it at this age.
I still do it for
Occasionally.
fun. I still do it.
Is your son competitive?
Yeah.
Did he see you play when you were still?
No. He was born when I had finished.
So he's seen any tapes? How does he know how good you were?
He didn't see. He just heard it from my friends who come and meet him and tell him that your dad did this, your dad did this. Acha, he did that. He's trying to absorb all these information.
But you must have bowled to him, no? You were still relatively young.
Yeah, but as a father, then you want to lose to your son.
Correct. You're telling me, boss, how much cheating we used to do. Not out.
Yeah, so as a father, you want your son to win, yeah.
So, superb answer, sir. Abhishek asks, what do you guys think about the Mumbai team retaining Ranji trophy this season? Also, will India go to Pakistan to play Champions Trophy since all India matches are supposed to be in Lahore? So two parts. First,
two parts.
retaining.
Of course, Mumbai retaining Ranji Trophy, obviously, it's very emotional for a Mumbaikar. And to see Ajinkya Rahane do that was phenomenal.
He didn't have a great season, huh? I was following
as a captain.
As a batsman, I'm saying.
But as a captain, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
If you ask me, it was only because of Ajinkya Rahane Mumbai could pull this off in all these situations.
Melbourne?
Sorry?
The Melbourne Test?
The Melbourne Test. I mean,
nobody gives him credit. He turned the team around. And that century, superb.
According to me, Ajinkya Rahane deserves that series credit hands down.
36 all out. Few days before.
Outstanding turnaround. And I was part of the 2001 series under Saurav Ganguly's captaincy. The last test match I played in Madras. I still feel I was part of that historic series.
The Kolkata Test you're talking about.
No, I was part of the Chennai
test, but you were part of this.
But I played that last test match. But I still rate
Sachin 155 or something, I remember.
But I still rate the Ajinkya Rahane series was better than that 2001
because it's their
series.
Home soil here.
Home soil with their batting intact, our bowlers weakened
and he's got that fighting century, classy century in Melbourne after 36 all out.
So Ajinkya Rahane, he deserved that.
Dear leaders, please make sure Padma Bhushan, Vibhushan, and at some point Bharat Ratna. No, because you're right. This is a quality performance. It's not quantity. It's a quality performance.
And he does not get the due credit
he doesn't
for
get the due.
Winning that series.
And he's made more runs outside India than anybody else.
Exactly.
And which nobody takes into context.
And going to Pakistan, I mean, boss, for all the ICC events, it's the call of the ICC. For bilateral, it's the call of the... No, I'm saying that for a bilateral, I still feel we should not go to Pakistan. But for ICC event, it's the call of the ICC event. For bilateral, I still believe... By the way, I've been to Pakistan for India.
Correct.
In that 97-90 end.
Right, yeah.
And there's a different story to it.
Meaning?
Do we have time?
Quickly, bolo.
Quickly. So I'll just quickly give you a story. Saurav Ganguly was man of the series 4-1.
Yeah.
And Sachin was a captain.
Yeah.
We had an 8-day gap in between. So Sachin requested BCCI that can we come to India and then go to Pakistan because there's nothing much to do in Pakistan. We land in Delhi. 15,000-20,000 people came to receive us. For me, this was my second series. I was like, boss, playing for India is brilliant.
Superb.
Cakewalk. Custom officers were telling, sir, Pakistan ko aa raha hai. Bag nahi kholenge. Walk through. Air India officials.
It's like children, yaar. 5 साल के बच्चे लोग.
Air India officials, sir, allow us to hold your bags. And I like, boss, this is brilliant. And in those days, STD ISD होता था.
अगर हार गया तो?
सुनो ना. STD ISD से हमने phone किया, called up people from Delhi saying that we landed in Delhi coming home. Sir, आपसे क्या पैसा? Pakistan को हराया. I was like, boss, this is brilliant. We go to Pakistan, we lose 2-1. If you remember, Rajesh Chauhan hit that 6 in Karachi.
Yeah.
I was there in that series. We lose 2-1. We come back the same airport. Custom officer, sir, jara bag kholiye. Air India official, sir, jara line mein aiye.
Wow.
So that's the extreme you experience when you play India-Pakistan.
But today India is not losing to Pakistan only.
We just lost one in that Champions Trophy. That was one off.
The finals, different story altogether.
So.
But coming back to the situation at hand, which is we've got 3 forms of cricket.
Yes.
Okay. We are arguably the best in all 3.
That's right.
Okay. We missed out on the 50 overs. We won the 20 overs. We have the World Test Championship coming up, and hopefully we will qualify for the final, having not won it.
Yes.
Twice in a row in the finals.
Yes.
But not... what do you feel? Do you think we can hold all 3 titles?
We should. Because, I mean, there's a less credit given to Rohit Sharma as a leader. And according to me, he has built this team. He has shaped this team to be champions. He has instilled the belief that India can win. And according to me, the kind of unit this team is backing each other, I don't see any reason. The only missing link, according to me, is that 50 over.
That also was one bad day, or rather one bad. We won't get into
Uske
the.
pehle bhi, India were in the finals of the World Test Championship. They
Correct.
lost.
Twice in a row, I think.
Twice in the row, we
have
missed
lost
out
that,
narrowly.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm
he
saying.
deserved that. And the way he's shaped up this team, backed each other, and it looked like a team. They want to win it for each other. Any format they play. That's a great sign. And a lot of credit.
Your call, then, one controversial question, your call on Hardik being given Mumbai Indians captaincy over him?
See, I think that's a franchise call. Probably they could have had a transitional part differently, but eventually it had to happen.
But they would have let Rohit make the announcement that, I'll play one more season. Or something
there are a lot of ifs and buts. And unfortunate reality is they had a bad season. If Mumbai had won it,
another story,
they wouldn't have raised any of
this
questions.
Hardik got so much love
exactly.
when he came back from the airport.
So,
within,
it's all fair. This is, unfortunately, that did not do well.
Exactly your story. Pakistan haraya, one thing. Haar gaya, it's totally different.
Take on your shoulders and
abused him. Wankhede abused him. Wankhede
booed
screamed
him.
and then loved him.
Exactly. But that's the beauty of this sport.
Yeah.
And it's not only Hardik, right? The entire 11 failed.
Yeah, more than 11, the full squad.
When you're playing 11, the entire 11 fails.
They should go back to Shishir. I've been saying from the beginning, Shishir will change that team again. If you're listening, Mumbai Indians, get Shishir now while he's available. Next 15-20 minutes only.
Yes.
Okay, last one. Harvespa, Saurabh Kumar and Shams Mulani have been consistent performers in domestic cricket. 8 overs. Apart from that, do you see them coming up? And any left-arm spinner that you think will serve Indian cricket?
Of course, Shams has been doing really well for Mumbai.
He's not getting the final call. He's done consistently.
He will be there, but Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel are part of the squad. But eventually,
Jadeja ka abhi last legs pe hai na?
Yeah, but eventually they will fade out and a new breed will come in, right? That's where he has to be more consistent. There's this Sai Kishore from Tamil Nadu.
He's fantastic.
Really,
I like that kid.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's a traditional red ball cricketer.
Yeah.
I believe that he has a potential to...
He's been very consistent.
Very consistent. Yeah. And he's a good all-rounder, safe fielder also. So I feel that spinners, yes, there are good spinners. My only apprehension is to see a good wrist spinner and a good off spinner replacing R. Ashwin. To a champion team requires that kind of match winners. In a transition,
Kuldeep, left-arm Chinaman, is there.
Yeah, but when we had Anil Kumble, then came Harbhajan Singh. When Harbhajan Singh was playing,
one alpha bowler.
Who obviously in a transition takes up that responsibility and do it for the team.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting to see that happen for Indian team.
Another, you're talking about Ajinkya Rahane, but even Ashwin, I would feel not given enough credit. Statistics are mind-boggling. Performance has been unbelievable. Never had a bad season, really. Except maybe in one-day cricket where they dropped him too quickly, twice.
Match winner, hands down.
Match winner. Yeah.
Hands down. I mean, a team can depend on Ashwin to win a match in difficult situation when team was depending with Harbhajan and Anil Kumble. Champion bowler. Absolute champion.
All right, Nilesh, sorry, we have to end here. We've spoken too long because I love cricket and I won't let you go. But one last question I want to ask you. I think best batsman, you'll say Sachin, so I won't even ask you that. Best bowler you've seen? International, Indian, everything. Best bowler?
Oh, that's a tricky one. According to me, Shane Warne probably rated the best bowler because he had a magic in his arm. He had a magic in this thing.
But against India, not that great statistics.
It doesn't matter, boss. I mean, 700 wickets is no mean feat. Yeah.
708
Test wickets is no mean feat. For me, when I played against and what I saw as a bowler, I was a big fan of Shane Warne. Big, huge fan. The way he could produce magic every over and very intelligent bowler. For me, that stands...
Mind games.
He would come up with some thoughts. He would take a strategic break, plan a strategy, talk to Hilly or a Gilchrist and come up with...
You would also pause a little bit here and there just to irritate the batsman. Ashwin does a little bit also.
Yeah.
Did you do that? Just change the rhythm, irritate the batsman?
It's all part of the game, right?
Yeah.
You want a wicket?
I do that with my wife. And she's not even wearing pads. Not yet. Okay, Nilesh, sorry. It's been a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. A lot of respect. Grew up, we are the same age, but used to follow your career. And really nice to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much for having me. Wonderful. Fantastic show.
And we do give you conveyance.
Incentives. The coffee is here. The conveyance is here.
Bro, I'm sorry. We are Kangali Gaff.